So today we're going to take a look at how we graph an exponential regression. So similar to the way that we did the other ones, press your on key, then number 1, new document, number 4, add list in spreadsheets. So we have to label our top one X and Y, and then let's enter our data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 12, 20, 59, 109, 267. So if you remember what we did before, again, up here is kind of like your tabs. We're going to enter another one. So Control plus Page, Data and Statistics. Then down here, I'll change my variable to X, change my variable to Y, and we have our exponential curve. So it tells us to do an exponential regression. So menu, number 4, analyze, a regression, and then an exponential regression. And it tells us our equation. Now, as a reminder, if you want more decimals, hit the dock key, settings, that didn't do it, document, oops, I keep doing, so menu, hit the wrong button again, document, number 7, settings. If I go to document settings, it says float 3. If I change that to 4, and I was to redo this now, menu, analyze graph, regression, exponential, analyze graph, regression. I think I moved these points around. We're going to start over. Well, actually, let's go back here and see what I did. Did I move one around? Because I know I must have moved one around. So I'm not sure how to delete that page, so I'm going to do Control, add a page, spreadsheet, our X, and our Y values. So menu, number 4, regression, exponential. And it has it there. And usually it floats it more. Settings, document settings. If I change it to 7, and it still didn't. That's weird. Usually it moves the decimal over. I'm not sure why it didn't do that. So I'm wondering if there's a way to delete this one. All right, so here's our page. Now, the second one, it says use the store model on your calculator to evaluate when it's 1,245. Well, before we do that, I want to show you one more way of finding this regression. If you didn't want to make a graph, you can find your regression right on this page. Hit Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, and Exponential. And then we choose our lists. So we want our X list and our Y list. And if you click on OK, it shows up right down here, A times B to the X. So A is 4.93 again, 94, B is 2.2. So you'll notice that's the same equation we got here. Now, it says use your model stored in your calculator to evaluate at year 7. So you could type in your calculator here, 4.94 times 2.2 to the power of 7. And there's our year 7. But if I go back to current, this does it as well. So if I hit Control, add a page and a calculator, I can take my equation, which is this, hit the var key. We want our stats regression equation. And if I type in 7, it tells me that same amount. So that is the same as if I did 4.94 times 2.2 to the power of 7. Because it's saying, or fairly close. This is with more decimals here, but they're fairly close. That's if we take our regression equation and plug in 7, and which is what we did right here, and plug in 7. Now this last one says, what year will we have $5,000? Well, we can't just plug in $5,000 because that's our X value. So what we can do is we can graph this. So I can add a graph, and I don't know why there's one in F1, so we'll try F2. So 4.94 times 2.2 to the power of X. And here's that equation. Well, I can also graph a Y value of 5,000. So to bring up another entry, hit Tab. And I don't see anything. So I'm going to go to Menu, Zoom, Fit. And now I can see that line. Another way we could do this, if we wanted to adjust our scale, I could hit Menu, my window, and I can change my settings. Maybe I only want it from -5. Oops. Menu, Zoom, window settings, -5 to 15. And I can see how it adjusts it. Now I want this intersection point. So I'm going to hit Menu, Analyze Graph, Intersection, and it says to the lower bound, so to the left, to the right. And it tells me 8.7764. And again, to move it around, hit Control and then click. And that you can move this around. Now let's say I wanted to find when I earned $20,000. I can hit this Tab key, bring up 20,000, and I notice I can't see it because that line's at 20,000. So if I hit Menu, I could adjust my window, would be one way, and I need to be higher. So I might put 25,000. So it goes up higher so I can see that line. Another way you could try is Menu, Zoom, Fit. Well, that way it looked like it crunched it all together. If I look, that's 5,000. So I didn't like the Zoom Fit. So I'm going to analyze that settings again and just say I want it at 25,000. And Y min, I'm going to do that at 0 because I don't need any money. So now I can see that. So if I wanted this top intersection point, Menu, Analyze Graph, Intersection, and it says which graph, because now there's 3 graphs. So I'm going to click on my exponential. It says second graph. I'm going to click. Then I go to the left click, to the right click. And if I move that around at 10.5 years.